Let's continue our journey on I Ching, an ancient Chinese book. Last time, we talked about the hexagram Xu, the fifth hexagram. The image of Xu hexagram is the clouds go up to the sky. That is, when clouds blocked the sky, we need to wait sincerely, even in the unpleasant situations. We keep waiting for the right moment to take big adventure. When we succeeded at last, we treat people who had offended us nicely with respect. Today, we will introduce the next hexagram, Song hexagram. Song hexagram has the same amount of yin line and yang line as Xu hexagram. It has 2 yin lines and 4 yang lines. Also, Song hexagram contains the same trigram as Xu, a Qian trigram and a Keng trigram, but in different positions. Xu hexagram have the Qian at the lower position, Keng as the top position, but the Song has different positions. It has Keng trigram in the lower position, but the Qian trigram at the top position. We know Qian is the sky, Keng is the water. Therefore, the image of Song hexagram is the water under the sky. Compared to the previous hexagram Xu, the image is cloud goes up to the sky. When clouds turn to the rain, drop to the ground, it becomes the water under the sky. That is how Song hexagram follows Xu hexagram. Song in Chinese means argument, conflict. Why this hexagram was named this way when we see water under the sky is quite peaceful? Because the dynamics of the sky and the water is going to the opposite directions. That is, the sun, the moon, the stars in the sky are moving from east to the west, but the water on the ground goes to the rivers, and the water in the rivers are moving from west to east. If we look at the map of China, we see the rivers like Yellow River or Yangtze River are all running east-west. For Fuxi and King Wen of Zhou, they all see that water in the rivers on the ground goes from west towards east. So water under the sky was named as Song, the conflict, the argument. Let's read the judgment by King Wen of Zhou on Song hexagram. Keep justice, meet the opposition and obstruction with caution, will be auspicious in the middle and ominous at the end. It's helpful to meet powerful person when cannot cross big river. This judgment is not very difficult to understand. Under the situation of a conflict, justice is most important. We should be fair, be sincere, be honest, be firm, and above all, be cautious. The opposite party in the conflict would cause troubles, but things would be better in the middle. That is, if we did all above mentioned good behavior, be justice and cautious, we would be adventurous over the opponent. However, this advantage would not last. This is the explanation of will be auspicious in the middle and ominous at the end. The victory in a conflict over the opponent is temporary. We should not enjoy it too much, but still be cautious and maintain justice. To me, that really is the art of dealing with conflict. It's helpful to meet powerful person because more powerful person could be a better facilitator in resolving a conflict. One cannot cross big river is a warning we should not make risky moves, big adventures in the conflict situation. Otherwise, would be in great danger. King Wen of Zhou's judgment on Song hexagram is quite long. Let's repeat it. Keep justice, meet the opposition and obstruction with caution, will be auspicious in the middle and ominous at the end. It's helpful to meet powerful person. One cannot cross big river. Now we move on to the line comments by Duke of Zhou. The initial line of Song hexagram is a yin line. The comments are: do not keep going for a long time. A small verbal dispute. Good at the end. When conflict is unavoidable, we have to answer it but keep it in verbal dispute. That is, make verbal arguments for our position. Don't escalate the conflict. Make it minor and short. Things would be good. A conflict cannot keep going forever. Line 2 of Song hexagram is a yang line. The comments are: cannot win in the conflict. Retreat to the hometown with 300 households. No harm. In the time of Zhou dynasty, 300 household town was a small town. Once the conflict developed, we found the opponent was stronger, so could not win. Therefore, the best choice was to retreat. If so, no harm. If we kept fighting with a stronger opponent, we might be destroyed. Line 3 of Song hexagram is another yin line. The comments are: to depend on the existing possessions. Be honest and firm, but extremely cautious, so can be good at the end. Won't achieve anything serving the king. This is a super unfavorable situation. In the middle of the conflict, there's no help around, but only the things one already has. Even serving the king won't be useful. Under this situation, if we hung down with caution, things would turn around. Line 4, 5, 6 are all yang line. It enters the top trigram, which is Qian trigram. The comments on the line 4 yang line are: cannot win in the conflict. Change to the correct position for the peace and integrity. That is good. This is a different situation. One is not at justice side, so he lost. Now one has to make a change. Stand on justice. Give up wrong position. If we can do so with honesty and integrity, it would be great. If one stubbornly, unrepentantly keeps the wrong position, it will be really bad. Comments on line 5, young line are win, everything good. This is a short comment. No one stand on justice, so that can win in the conflict. Justice overcome. This is quite straightforward. The comments on top young line are decorated with medal and sash, forced to take them off 3 times in a single day. This painted a picture of the winner be rewarded with medal and sash. However, the winner did not win the respect, cannot keep them on. This illustrated that since won in the conflict cannot last long, it really warned the people after winning should not show off but be modest and deference. However, it's really difficult. It's human nature to celebrate the victory after win. Now recall the judgment by King Wen. He said, will be auspicious in the middle and ominous at the end. It sounds like winning means losing. Winning in the middle means losing at the end. However, to avoid the conflict at the very beginning is the best strategy. Once we fell into a conflict, no matter winning or losing, we could not cross big river. So if we want to cross a big river, we had to prepare ourselves not to be involved in a conflict. If we want to accomplish something big, we will do everything to avoid a conflict. Maybe we can use this song hexagram to explain why China does not want to get into the conflict between US and Iran. When China planned something big to win AI competition, just like to cross the big river, it has to avoid any conflict. With the same reason, China will not invade Taiwan before they stand on the top of AI competition. Let's have a brief review on the line comments of song hexagram without repeating them. Initial inline is the beginning of song hexagram. When people just get into a conflict, the best to do at this time is to keep the conflict at the verbal level, not to escalate. Second, the young line enters the middle of the lower trigram and cannot win in the conflict due to the opponent is much more powerful. In this case, simple retreat is okay. Third inline, getting into the hardest time, no helps available, but keep integrity, things will turn around. Fourth young line tells us it's time to make a change, learn lessons from the failure, and stand on justice. Fifth young line declares a victory. Previous change pays off. Top young line illustrates losing rewards of winning. Overall, song hexagram addressed the importance of justice, integrity in the conflict situation. That's all for the line comments of song hexagram. Song hexagram is the 6th hexagram in I Ching. The image of song hexagram is the water under the sky, which implies a conflict because the water on the ground under the sky running in the river from west to east. But the sun, moon, and stars in the sky move from east to west. The key to handle the conflict is the justice. Be cautious in action, seeking help from powerful person, and do not doing anything risky. knowing it will be auspicious in the middle and ominous at the end. We should avoid conflict if we can. Some hexagram has the ancient wisdom of conflict handling. I think it's different than modern game theory. That's all for today. We will move on to the seventh hexagram next time. Bye.